Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is an overview of this week's entries for the Junk Journal Challenge for VICKI BOUTIN. And the first page that I'm going to show you actually, it has to do with, the theme was brush strokes. So I decided to work with an idea of a project that I had created before. And I had this cut out in my little box of die cuts. So I decided to use some glue, and this is a tumble glue, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it aside until it becomes tacky because I want to make sure that I can remove it. So I'm not gluing it straight onto the page. I'm going to let it aside to dry for a little bit. Once it was tacky, I'll put it on the page. This is just a plain mixed media insert. It has actually it's yeso, and after that I'm going to use the flat brush from the watercolor brush set just to add some acrylic paint. And my idea was to create this small brush strokes with, that's what I'm using, a flat brush onto the page, trying to cover the words and just create some sort of a pattern. And what I'm using are the acrylic paints that I'm using are Coral Macaroon, Blue Hawaiian, Crushed Pineapple, and Juicy Pear. And I'm actually adding also some white acrylic. And all you're gonna see is that what I'm gonna make sure is that I'm trying to use my brush as dry as I can. You're gonna see that I'm actually bringing a second brush because I already cleaned the first brush from the green paint that I was using. So until it dries, I'm gonna go ahead with another one of the brushes and make sure that it's completely dry before I start. And I'm gonna continue on until I covered not the entire page, but pretty much all the writing. My only mistake was that when it came to the holes of the letters, I just pushed the paint a little bit harder, so it actually bled inside the letters. But that's like pretty much super simple. I created a project before for a layout with the same technique. So all you're gonna see means that I'm just going up and down with the brush strokes and then left to right or right to left, and I'm just creating sort of a pattern, just what is pleasing. When I'm looking at this, I'm thinking of Bible journaling. It happens a lot in Bible journaling, and I like the pattern. I like the brush stroke lines. And one of the things that you can do to make sure that you show the brush stroke lines is to yeso the page. That's gonna allow you for the paint to glide nicer. Instead of just having a plain paper, it won't glide as nice. And after that, you're gonna see that it's gonna say that it took me long. It does not take long. It's therapeutic. It's actually fun just to lay paint, just to make sure that you have colors that combine nicely. You don't want to have colors that are gonna clash and hide each other. So once I was done with that, I'm bringing there's a saltwater taffy, and I'm also gonna bring the plum pudding one. And all I'm doing is I'm just gonna add these little cross hatches on some places, just like little clusters on some areas of the page. I just wanted to put some emphasis onto the brush strokes, and I'm using the finest tip from the water brushes. And that's pretty much it. You're gonna see that it takes no time. Like I said, I'm bringing some of the purple, some of the blue. I just want to make sure, my idea was to accent some of the areas of the letters because there's these little holes that I want to make sure that shows, and you're gonna see in a bit. And actually, as I'm doing it, the paint's drying. Paint dries really fast, so it takes no time. Now I set it aside to dry for a little bit, and I'm gonna add a little bit more interest. And for this, I'm bringing the circle stamp, and I'm gonna use archival ink, and I'm just gonna stamp around some of the areas. I might cover some of the lettering behind it, and I'm using the starburst stamp and also the little dotty stamp, the medium one, just to add a few details. Not much. I don't need much. I think that it's gonna show in the bit. You're gonna see the reveal, as I call it. And now you're gonna see that I start peeling off the letters, and that's one of the reasons why you have to let the glue become tacky, so it's easier to take out the paper. And it was easy until I got to the U, and I just yanked it, and I took a little piece of the U out of the paper. And if you're gonna see here is also the little amounts of paint. All I have to do is use an eraser, and it all comes off. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. I love all the colors. You can see the brush strokes. So that's my take on the brush strokes for the week. Now, this second prompt that I'm gonna work is the one that says glaze and art crayons. And my idea for this was to create a galaxy. So my first thought was I want shine. I want it to be like sheen. When you see at night, you see like all the stars in the background make the sky shiny. So I'm using iridescent glaze as a primer for the page. And this is a mixed media page for the Junque Journal, and I'm actually using my brayer to apply the iridescent glaze onto the page. I was not hoping, but actually worked great. I got a really even and thin surface, and the paper has this nice shine behind it. After that, my first thought is if you see a galaxy at night, you're gonna see little spots of blue and purple and pink. So my idea is I'm using the stencil brush to add little, I'm gonna call it blobs, but little areas of color. No rhyme or reason, there's no particular shape. I'm just adding some colors, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna go into the light blue and some of the fuchsia and some violet and some purple. And one of the things you're gonna see me do is that I'm gonna make sure that those colors are really deep when I'm applying. So I'm gonna go over and over. So I'm speeding it up because it took a while, and all I'm doing is scribbling the crayon on my mat, and then I'm picking it up with the stencil brush and then going in a circular motion on the prep cardstock. Now what I'm doing right now is I want to start bringing layers of black. And black is one of the hardest colors to get a real black, and I really don't want a real black. I want shades of gray and black. So my idea is just using the black art crayon, and all I'm doing is scribble lots of it on my craft mat, water it down, and you're gonna see that I'm just gonna start pretty much coloring the paint. And what I'm doing is I'm adding splatters and then spreading it with the round brush. I'm using a round brush because it's not gonna leave me streaks. I don't want streaks of I don't want the brush strokes to show. I want something. I don't mind having little patches of dry paint like black going into gray, but I don't want to have brush strokes. And as you can see, as it dries, some of it, because like I said, it's really hard to get deep black. But I'm loving this because you can see the color behind, and I know it's going to take a few more coats. I knew it was going to take layers on this to build something close to a galaxy. And I'm going to set it aside to dry. It's going to take a little bit to dry because I added quite a bit of water. And once it's going to dry, one of the things that I forgot to tell you is that I used some of the white art crayon and just added splatters. I want to, like I said, I want to build layers. Once it dries, I'm going to go in with a baby wipe, and I'm just gonna clean up some of the area where I added the colors, you know, the blobs of pink and blue. And what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna bring in more shine. So I'm using the iridescent glaze with some of the same colors of art crayon that I used. And what I'm doing is mixing the art crayon with the iridescent glaze to get iridescent color glaze. And what I'm gonna do is use the stencil brush to add the same color on top of the area that I had colored previously with the art crayon. I hope it makes sense. And all I'm doing is because I already have the base underneath the black, even though I have buffed some of the area, you can see a little bit. So I'm thinking if I bring the iridescent, it's gonna bring it to light and it's gonna pop the color underneath. So you're gonna see that I do the same thing with all the colors that I use of the crayon. I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and I'm just in the stenciling brush, and I'm actually not even going in circles, a little bit of circles, and I'm stippling the brush because I wanted like that shadow look. Now I want to, like I said, I want to deepen the black, and for this I'm using the stencil brush and the art crayon, and I'm just scribbling the art crayon on my mat and then picking it up with the big stencil brush, and I'm just going in circles around the page. I am gonna go around the area that I color with the iridescent glaze right now, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna probably cover a lot of what, like, you know, I had already put with the iridescent glaze. But then I'm gonna, once I am happy what it looks like, I'm gonna go ahead with a baby wipe and start buffing the area so that the iridescent glaze that I added starts showing. Now once that's done, I want to add some of the white to bring in the constellation of the stars that are flying. So for this I'm using the white crayon, some iridescent glaze, and I'm going to bring a little bit of matte acrylic gel. And it's just because I want to thin it out. I want it to be a little bit translucent. I don't want it to be I want it to be very fluid and very true. So I knew that if I added only the iridescent and the white crayon, it's going to be a little bit tone of like this grayish tone. So add a little bit of matte acrylic gel is going to bring it to like closer to a white. And I'm pulling a little bit on the side. You're gonna see that I'm gonna water that little top, the little amount that I put on top, and I'm gonna flicker the paint onto the page. It's gonna create these little dots, sort of like the stars you see when you see through a telescope in the night sky. And then the leftover glaze that I have, and I'm just gonna go all over the page, but the leftover glaze of matte acrylic gel art crayon that I have at the bottom, I'm actually gonna bring a little bit of the fine silver glitter I'm gonna mix it all together, and then I'm gonna run it through a stencil. And the stencil is from Kaisercraft, but I love the fact that it had these little tiny circles and stars together. So it's just gonna give me the idea of the constellation. And because this is going in really thick, it's gonna give me a thicker consistency. It's gonna be closer to white, and I love. And there's a shine to it. It's a shimmer and a shine that you cannot see in the camera, but up close, when the page turns, it catches the light. So beautiful. Love the way it turned out. I'm just gonna give you some close-ups of what it looks like. Honestly, I love it turned out. It do take some time to create, and you see I used the leftover glaze to create my little marker for the week. And now what I'm working on is the emboss and watercolor, and I love this page. What I did is I used the circle stamp and some embossing ink just to create some pattern on the page. Nothing specific. I just added some of the starburst, some of the polka dot circles on the page. My idea was I was looking at I think some chat footage or some, and I saw all these paper rosettes, and I wanted to recreate sort of the same look on the page. So once I have used my, I've embossed the ink onto the page, I'm gonna use actually the art crayons, and my palette for this is gonna be a warm palette. I'm going from yellow to like a really light purple, and you're gonna see that I'm gonna actually skip a lot of it because it took me a while to create this. But what I'm gonna do is I started with the stencil brush, but I didn't like the look of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through watercolor, and all I'm doing is I'm gonna scribble the color on my mat, add some water, and then gonna use the watercolor brushes just to create the shape of the circle. So you're gonna see me that I'm gonna flick. I'm just gonna no particular technique. I'm just gonna make sure that the watercolor fills the circle of the embossed circle, and that's pretty much it. But the key here is that I'm gonna go circle by circle. So if I stamped some of the polka dot circles inside one of the starburst circle, I'm gonna go first fill the little polka dot in the center with one color, and then go ahead and complete the other one. I want the colors to mingle, and I'm using actually watercolor paper for this because I knew we were gonna add water, and I'm not yesto in it. So I knew that the water was going to soak nicely, and I will be able to play with the colors. And you're going to see in a bit, once the circles, I make sure to stamp the circles close together or overlapping them. So you're going to see the different tones when they get together, when they mix, and actually it looks really, very pretty. And like I said, I am going for a warm palette. So you're going to see me play with the peach, the maroon, the fuchsia, the red, the oranges, and I'm going to bring in some of the lilac and the pink, the purple, just to add a little bit of accents. But I played around mixing. I'm not cleaning anything from my mat. I'm mixing the colors because I want to get, like I said, I want to make sure the palette combines. And you're gonna see that all I did is play. When I started adding the color onto the circles, you're gonna see that I go crazy. But then I start working around the circle of the design because I want to make sure that they stay round. I want to make sure that there's definition to each circle. And one of the things, if you guys see my work, you guys know that I like splatter. So I thought a little bit of splatter was going to help, with defining the circles, and also create a little bit of a messiness and help with the transition of the colors. And you're going to see, I'm going to take it off camera in a little bit because it didn't take a while, but it was just going to show you going in the circles. And all you're going to see is, like, for example, this one, I think it has, the center has the polka dot circle. I first work the one area, and then I'm going to go ahead with another color and actually add to the center of the circle. You're going to see it in a bit. And that's pretty much it. It did take a while. If you're going to do something similar, use watercolor paper. It's just going to help you create the nice fusion of the two colors together when the circles meet. And super simple. When you're embossing on watercolor paper, just make sure that you use you be careful of where you add the ink because it tends to grab onto the ink faster than regular paper. That's the only thing you have to be careful when you emboss on watercolor paper. But that's pretty much it. Super simple. Love how this turned out. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love watercolors. So to me, this was joy, in like 20 minutes of joy that I created this. And I don't know what else to tell you. I hope you try it. Let me know if you have any questions. And don't worry, like if you see that I'm covering and you don't see that much of definition, you see just a little shades of the embossing at the bottom. In a little bit, once this, I'm gonna set it aside to dry, and I'm gonna show you what I did to like clean up some of the embossing. And as you're gonna see, one of the things that I think I wanted to achieve with this page too was to create a palette and play with some of the colors, just to create different colors. And you're gonna see right now that I'm going, this is a point where two of the circles join, and you're gonna see when I create the circles, you get the nice definition of each circle. And I love the way that the colors mix when they join. I love it, and that's what I think what I was so wanted to create, like just one palette for the entire page. I wanted to see the circles and the colorations mixed together, and that's pretty much it. I'm just blabbing on, I'm sorry guys. Try something similar. Embossing and watercolor is super simple, an easy way. It's so much fun, an easy way to get your mixed media in like really fast. Now, like I mentioned before, if you want to have the embossing popped out, in this case I want to have the definition of the what I stamp. All I'm doing is using a little bit of a baby wipe. I'm gonna set aside to dry first, and then I'm just gonna buff the area of the circles. Because it's watercolor paper, you are not gonna take some of the watercolor out, so don't worry about it. All you're gonna do is buff the embossing, the stamping that you did. So that's what I say, try to do it on watercolor paper, then you're gonna have the watercolor actually stick to the paper, and you won't lose it when you're buffing the area. And that's about it guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you later on.